tech, AI in particular, is about understanding. But it doesn't know the understanding until you've taught it. And the best AI is AI that's been trained well, which is why we're in the training data business.
Yeah, right. I think the quote for Voice Summit is, it's where the voice tech community meets, right? And so you get to gather with your peers, with potential prospects, with potential partners, but being here physically, what made you decide that's where you want to be, that's the people you want to spend time with?
Yeah, look, I attend a lot of different speech and technology conferences throughout the year. There's a great calendar of events, and some of them are heavily tech-oriented. Put up an algorithm, talk about it for an hour, and that can be pretty exciting. But what I like about the Voice Summit is it's very much at an abstracted level where it's talking about the macro trends that drive the business. So how is the technology going to interact with people? What are the macro trends that we're going to be moving towards in the near future? That kind of thing. And that's a really exciting level to be having conversations at. One of the things about LXT, we did a public launch of the company in September.
Yes.
Before that moment, nobody really knew who we were. So I joined the company in January, started working on what we would have called a rebrand, except we had no brand. Right. So it's not really a rebrand. We were really starting from scratch. But in the background, LXT has been working with biggest names in the industry for 11 years. When I started talking to Mohammed, we would talk, I said, look, I need some specifics. Talk about projects that you've done. And he started telling me about the projects, and I'm thinking, oh, I know that project. We bid against you on that. Wow. We were competing with you. I didn't even know you existed. And for 10 years, I've been competing against you. I knew exactly who the client was, what the requirements were, whether we won it, whether we lost it. I really knew all this stuff about his business. And the fact that he was winning so much business in the background really helped to convince me that this was a strong partnership that I could go into. So, I mean, to be clear, my role is to take the company from having a very small customer base to having a big customer base.
Right.
And what I needed to be convinced about was that I had something to sell. And the more that I dug into what they'd been doing in the dark for 11 years, it was clear that they'd been doing it well. The customers kept coming back, the volumes of work kept growing. The customer loyalty was just sensational. So I knew that if they could do that for one customer, then I had something that I could take to the rest of the community.
Right. So how about today? When somebody says, okay, what's the greatest thing that you're working on today, or what's the accomplishment this week? What's a thing that's happening or has happened, whether it's in onboarding some huge new customer or some little tech advancement? What's something that really lights your fire right now about the company?
There's an awful lot of NDAs going on, but right now we are in the onboarding process with multiple companies in the top 10 global, and that's a pretty good place to be. When you've made a lot of business out of one customer in the top 10, every new one you add is a multiplier.
Absolutely.
And so that's pretty exciting. We've been able to see products come to market that we know with absolute certainty would not have come to market without the work that we do in the background. And that's a very exciting thing.
And so, I talked about the past, I talked about the present. How about the future? You project out a year, 5 years. You're trying to recruit some new amazing executive or some great salesperson or some world-class developer. And you're trying to convince them, you really should come to LXT, like this is the place to be. This is where we're going. What are you projecting, hopefully, in the future of your company?
Well, look, I think I would be very clear. We have a really strong culture. It's a real people-oriented company. We have great people already, and we're bringing more great people on all the time. So there's a strong collegial atmosphere to work in. But for the company, our aim is to be, in 5 years' time, we aim to be top 5 in our space, which is the data space. We aim to be top 5 in our space. We aim to be a strong contender from a technological perspective as well as a people perspective, and we expect to 10x what we're doing today.
Okay. So you ever hear like the fast, quick questions you get quick answers to, like, do you prefer a Mac or a Windows computer?
Sure.
Which one, Mac or Windows?
I'm a Mac guy.
Okay. You prefer like normal milk or alternative milk like coconut milk?
I'm a straight milk guy.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a couple questions I wrote down, but I want you
Yeah.
to just answer them in just quick fashion and not overthink.
I'll do the best I can.
What is AI training data?
AI training data is the coal that you feed into the engine to make it work. Good data produces good AI results. Bad data can produce disastrous AI results, and no data produces no AI.
Right. Another one I was thinking about, what are customers looking for when it comes to AI training data, but specifically for speech?
Specifically, they want diversity. So it's a statistical technology. It's absolutely statistical technology. Therefore, the bigger the pool that you sample, the better the statistics. And the bigger the diversity in that pool, the more robust the product. So you want it to recognize anybody's voice. And some people have got a voice that's out on the edge. You want it to recognize those people whose voice is out on the edge.
Yeah.
And you've got to get everything into that data set, and you've got to get it in a balanced way that doesn't push any community out to the fringe. It's got to be good for everybody.
Right. Okay, another one I have. How crucial do you think it is to have AI training data strategy, and what are some of the risks of not having an AI data strategy?
Yeah, okay. If you don't have an AI data strategy, you don't have an AI strategy. There is no AI without data. It's that simple.
Makes sense to me. Okay, how can training data partner accelerate AI initiatives, and what should you be looking for? So if somebody says, I need an AI training data partner, what is the right thing for someone to look for? And they would say, okay, this is kind of the metrics that matter most when it comes to a partner in AI training data.
Look, I think most people, you've probably heard it during the course of the day today, most people that are working in this AI space have global ambition. You hear people saying, we've got this happening in 30 languages, we've got this happening in 80 countries, okay? And that's a lot of different data sets that you need to make it work in different markets, different languages, different dialects, different accents. So a strong training data partner is somebody that can cover the globe and make it work. Somebody that can, where you can go to somebody and say, we've got this great product for US English, but our sales guys really see a big market in Kazakhstan. How are you guys for Kazakh? And we're like, no problem. Are you okay for doing Mandarin Chinese? Yeah. Can you do Thai? Are you okay with the writing system? Yeah, no problem. That's one of the things that you really look for in a partner. Can they do everything for you? You might find local partners in Finland who can do a great job on Finnish, but they can't help you with anything else.
Right.
That's a headache in the making, because you've got to train them, show them how to deal with global issues. You've got to train them on how to do this, and then you've got to train somebody else next door for Danish and somebody else for Estonian.
Makes sense.
And that's a recipe for high risk.
Okay.
Somewhere along the way, somebody's going to drop the ball.
Right.
If you've got one partner that understands the whole planet and can give it to you, then you know that you're going to get the same quality for Oriya, fringe language of India, as you are for French.
Right. Well, I could keep asking you questions, but let's think as a wrap, a call to action. So somebody gets to tune in to part of our conversation. It intrigues them. Maybe they're a decision maker at a Global 2000 company, and they say, okay, what do I do? How do I reach out to LXT, and who do I talk to? So is it you? Do they reach out to you?
Oh
or
yeah,
the
reach
company in
out to
general?
me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, I mean, reach out to the company. It's going to find its way to me.
Okay.
We're still small. We're building a great sales and marketing team.
Great.
We've already got a stunning operations team.
Okay.
But yeah, reach out to me. That's a great idea.
Good.
Thank you, Ian.
Well, we're glad that you came. Thanks
Me
for
too,
joining
Ian.
us.
It was a pleasure meeting you and great to
You
talk
too.
to you about some topics that I'm passionate about.
And I got to learn things. And that's why
That's
I do
great.
this stuff. This is like interviewing people is my hobby, so I can keep learning. It's like my alternative to going and getting a degree.
Excellent. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much. Really
Yes.
appreciate that.
Good.